making this brief talk, I have only one purpose: to stress the urgent need for throwing ourselves again with renewed energy into the task of winning this war. I want to make this point first with the employees of the War Production Board, whose loyal, hard work has meant so much to the country since the war began. Second, I am speaking to the men and women of American industry, whose amazing record of production has staggered the imagination of the world. Third, I should like to reach all my fellow countrymen who have dedicated themselves to victory and to the utter destruction of the enemies of our democratic way of life. Let me begin by showing you a familiar face. Perhaps you cannot call him by name, but you know him well enough. He is the youth of America, your boy, the boy next door. But he's grown up now. He has the maturity which comes to a man when he goes out to fight for his people and to face death for his country. He is the primary reason for your work and my work in this war. We have a silent understanding with him. He is out there fighting to protect us, and we on our part are working to provide protection for him. Perhaps at this very moment, he is on a destroyer, cutting its way through the North Atlantic. Perhaps he is slogging through some treacherous jungle of the South Pacific. Or perhaps he is fighting his way through the fortified Nazi lines in Europe. Wherever he is keeping faith with his country and with the great fighting tradition of American manhood. For us, and all who will come after us, that fighting man is doing the hard and dangerous job that has to be done to preserve freedom against the enemies of mankind. On him depends every plan that we make for the future, every hope that we have for ourselves and for our country. He will fight until his job is finished, to the day of final victory. And until his job is finished, we on this side of the water must carry on with our war jobs. Every bit of energy, determination, and endurance we have must be thrown into the fight to back him up. Our best military and naval authorities tell us that the war is far from over. In a recent official report to the nation, they said,
"The first fascist, the weakest Axis partner, is gone. There is still Germany. There is still Japan. They don't consider themselves beaten. Following Pearl Harbor, Japan extended her empire with startling swiftness over the Far East, Burma, Java, Indochina. Now the Japanese dominate a subject population of 385 millions, hard-working cheap labor that can be used in war production. Although the Japanese have suffered severe losses in aircraft, they have more first-line planes now than when they attacked at Pearl Harbor. She has spun around herself a web of powerful bases and major strongholds. Every base is supported by the others. This is what is meant by interlocking bases and interior lines of supply. At any one point we attack, we come up against the whole system. So far, we have only dented these defenses. This system is defended to the death. The task of destroying these fanatical warriors was not easy. It has just begun. The destruction of Germany is further along. But make no mistake, that army today is still a powerful fighting machine, well-equipped, highly trained, battle-hardened. Germany has 3 times the combat divisions it had at the beginning of the war. Each division comprises 15,000 men. Today, there are some 300 divisions. You have heard how the Germans lost about 25 divisions at Stalingrad, Tunisia, and Sicily, and more on the Dnieper and the Crimean front. Army intelligence reports that the Germans have meanwhile created or reformed 60 new divisions. Each of these divisions was given more and better weapons than the divisions destroyed. All this equipment was produced by increasing the number of war workers 50%, largely imported foreign labor. This does not include the millions in conquered countries who have to work, like it or not, for their Nazi master. Germany today is better fed than she was in 1918. Heavy workers and soldiers actually eat better today than at the start of the war. The natural wealth of Europe is being looted. Germany suffers no dangerous shortages in any basic war material, whether coal, steel, oil, or rubber. With Nazi ruthlessness and German thoroughness, Europe has been made into an arsenal of fascism. The enemy is exploiting to the limit the most densely industrialized continent in the world. To keep pace with the changing war, the Germans have had to stop some production and increase other as often and as drastically as we have. But these problems are common to all war economies. The Germans have taken them in their stride. Their films boast of their industrial strength. They are making good their boast. The conclusive proof of German strength is the quality of her weapons. Plane production is up. After the Luftwaffe was forced on the defensive, it made fewer bombers. But this made it possible to produce more fighter planes. Deadly Focke-Wulfs, deadly Messerschmitts. Every new model is better than the last. Workers in the Ruhr, in the arsenals of France and Czechoslovakia, are forging huge coastal guns. Slave labor builds their emplacements, gigantic concrete structures. They do not scorn to use such orthodox weapons. On the other hand, they know the need for mobility and firepower. They have developed this rocket gun with a firepower equal to 6 heavy howitzers. Its barrage is devastating. We still lose ships and their precious cargoes. Every month, replacements, food and maintenance for each man require another ton of shipping. For 500,000 men, this means 500,000 tons, 50 Liberty ships a month. From England, our 8th Air Force is bombing Germany systematically. But we will never have enough planes and bombs to wipe out so big an industrial nation. Germany is fighting back with increased firepower. Our gunners face vicious opposition. The fortress is hit. Another of our planes will not return. In the outskirts of Berlin is this graveyard of smashed American bombers. We must replace this equipment. These men can never be replaced. The sea takes its toll in every amphibious operation. Drowned vehicles, swamp boats. This is the price paid to the enemy. This landing ship was hit at Jela. Her flaming deck full of half-tracks, personnel carriers that will never carry a man. These are some of the extra costs of successful amphibious assault. The great loss of equipment, the loss of lives.
Neither you nor I can say with any assurance how long it will take to achieve the final victory for which we all yearn. All of us like to enjoy again the satisfaction of peacetime life. So would our fighting men in the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. So would the brave fellows who man our merchant ships and transport planes. They once had private lives too, and they would like to get back to their families and their peacetime work. But they know, and we know, that the job is not yet finished. As an American citizen, and particularly as one of America's war workers, you have met your responsibilities splendidly so far. You have electrified the world with your achievements. At the beginning of 1942, when you began to get into action in earnest, the United Nations were losing the war. We were menaced on either side by the two most dangerous and treacherous nations in history. The The turning point came one morning long before daybreak, not far from the Egyptian border. Until the Battle of El Alamein, we had had practically nothing but bad news. Rommel was poised to strike at Egypt and the Near East. Had he succeeded, Suez would have been lost, and the Nazi armies might well have overrun all the Near and Middle East. But on October 22nd, 1942, General Montgomery and his immortal 8th Army had accumulated all the munitions and supplies and equipment needed for their great African campaign, and were ready to go on the offensive. At 0 hour, on that famous day, the United Nations revealed their aggressive power for the first time.
Fire! Fire!
We learned something that month, and so did the enemy, that future generations will marvel at our good fortune in escaping. Until that morning, the Nazi armies were full of boastful confidence. Never before had they been driven into headlong retreat. But this time, they were forced to retreat for 1,000 miles. And at the end of those grim 1,000 miles, they were hurled off the continent of Africa, never to return. That same autumn, Hitler's armies in Russia smashed themselves against the unforgettable Russian defense at Stalingrad. El Alamein and Stalingrad. In those two great battles, the enemy lost his most potent secret weapon, the legend that he could not be beaten. American industry and American labor can be proud of their part in these momentous events. At the famous Tehran conference, Marshal Stalin declared, without American production, the United Nations could never have won the war. That record must not, and I am sure it will not, be imperiled by any letdown due to overconfidence. I know that any job at a desk or at a workbench cannot seem very important in comparison with the worldwide scope of this war. Using a typewriter is certainly a long way from using a machine gun. Checking over papers may seem a petty business in comparison with piloting a flying fortress. In the jobs you are doing, in office or factory, you will never get the Purple Heart for your wounds or the Medal of Honor for your valor. But you can earn an invisible decoration that is no less worth winning. The inner satisfaction, the knowledge of true patriotism that comes to all faithful workers of the home front who give their full energies and minds to their war jobs. The machine guns could not be fired, and the planes could not fly. The bombs could not fall on our enemy without the painstaking effort of millions of desk workers and factory workers. This war is one gigantic enterprise in which the work of each one of us plays an essential part, whether he be soldier or desk worker, employer or workman. Before the right weapons can get into the hands of our fighting men at the right places, at the right times, and in the right quantity, before that can happen, thousands of anonymous workers here at home must do their part. I can safely say that you have helped to win many a battle, perhaps without realizing it. War production is the foundation of our war effort. And by the same token, what you do from day to day affects your country's success in this war. Never forget, you are working for him, for the youth of America, for the boy next door. On the last day of the last war, thousands of such boys were killed. If the war had ended 24 hours earlier, they would have returned. What you do tomorrow, today, in the next hour, can help to bring the last day of this war closer and to save lives that would otherwise be lost. We are all in this together. You and I, your own boy, and the boy next door. Our job is not finished. Let's finish the job together.
Hello, everybody. This is Skip Alzheimer. Welcome to the AV Geeks Lunchtime streaming show. So I thought I had fixed the audio glitch problem that I encountered yesterday, but then it popped back up again when I started streaming. And I think OBS is doing something where it wants all the attention. And if I click away to look at your comments, it craps out. It's very frustrating. Anyhow, I hope that you were able to watch at least some of that. Let's finish the job together without too many audio dropouts. I showed it yesterday, and it kind of failed. But it wasn't really appropriate for Memorial Day because this was aimed at the home front, people that were working in the United States for the war effort. So there you go. I think we need to jump to the 70s, and we need to watch a wonderful film from the Inside Out series, which is the early 70s, like 72, 73. A bunch of public TV affiliates filmed these. They were distributed, shown on public television, and then distributed to schools. This is called How Do You Show?
How do you show how you feel on a mighty good day? How do you show you feel when you're feeling okay? Do you go outside and tear all over town, running and a-yelling and a-jumping around on a mighty good day? How do you show how you feel on a mighty good day? How do you show how you feel when you're feeling okay? Do you stand there smiling as the day goes by? It's nobody's business how you feel or why when you're feeling okay. Everybody's feelings are their own and they're real as they live their life on every day. Everybody's showing the way that they feel and they do it in their very own way. How do you show the way that you feel? How do you show the way that you feel? How do you show the way that you feel?
My father let it off. Yeah, that was probably mine. That's mine because mine went up. My father let it off, so vote up in the air. Well, was yours a green one? Yeah, you had a red one. Yeah. That was the hardest one to make. No! Hey! No! Oh, you're in my shirt! Don't you, you stupid bum! Hold still! Any money on you? Yeah! Give it! Hurry up! Give it! Hey! Hey! Stop it! Tom gives money! Make sure you don't tell anybody in the years. Tom gives money! Get on! Get it! Help! No! Just get out of it! If you don't lay off, get it money! Get it money! I am! Get it money! Goodbye! Somebody's coming! Stop it! I'm gonna break your neck if I get a hold of you! You stop it! Stop it!
What are you trying to do? Think we had enough problem breaking up glass around here? Go home, you little dodo. Go home. Stay there. Get out of here before I call the police on you. Get out of here. Get out of here.
Guess what? What? On the way here, I got beaten up. Really? Yeah. We were going through a wall, and all of a sudden, this guy jumped me, and head over heels I went. It took 3 of them to get me down. I fought so hard that they had to run away. They ran away because someone was coming. You were there, Brian? What happened? They sat up top of me, and they stole all my money. All you do is lie down. Oh, you want my quarter? I just didn't think it was worth getting beat up for a quarter. Golly, I'm so glad I got away from
Hey, come on, gang. Let's get practice started. Come on over here. Bryce. All right, you guys take your positions out there. These are the older boys, and they're going to give us some batting practice today. So you guys step back and stay out of the way. And Joe, you hit first. Okay, come on. Good hit, Joe.
Give me your pitch! A good one, too!
All right, good swing, Nicky, good swing. Keep your eye on the ball this time. Keep your elbow up.
You crummy pitcher, you better have a good pitch this time.
Come on, Nicky. Keep your eye on the ball, Nicky. All right, let's go. Let's get a hit now. Come on, come on. Nicky, just hit one. Keep your eyes on the ball. Good hit, Nicky. All right. All right. Stay there, Nicky. Stay there.
Come on! Come on!
All right, Bryce, come on, you're up. Come on, you can do it now. Just remember to keep your shoulders up, keep your elbow up, keep your eye on the ball. You can get a good hit now. All right, come on, concentrate.
Come on, let me out!
Get a hit. You can do it.
Come on, Bryce, let me out! Come on!
All right, come on, Bryce!
All right!
Come on, run!
Bryce!
Go now.
Go! Go, Bryce!
Come on, Nicky!
Bryce!
Come on, Nick!
All right, Nick! Come on, Bryce!
Come on, Bryce!
Make it!
Way to go, Bryce!
All right, give
All
me
right, come on,
5!
hey!
All right, nice!
All right!
Woo! Nice! Hey, Nicky, you want to come home to my house, over my house, and have some chocolate cakes and leftovers from dinner? No, I gotta go home and empty the garbage. See ya. Bryce, you want to come over? Well, my mom said that you'd come home after the game. Oh, come on, it's good cake anyways. I know you're hungry. Okay. Hey, Isla. That was a good game. Yeah. God, I really hit a hard one. Hey, come on, let's walk to the cemetery. It'll be a lot faster. Oh, I don't think it'll be that fast. It'll be just as fast going around. No, it'll be a lot faster going through there. I know it's scary, but let's just talk loud or something like that. Okay. Come on. Hey, do you think some more bullies down here will jump us? I'm not sure. I hope not. Yeah, same here. In that baseball game, you nearly knocked the scoreboard over when you hit that home run. Yeah. That was a really good one. Yeah. That ball sure went far. I just about nearly cracked the bat when I hit it. Hey, are you starting to get the creeps? Yeah, sort of. Yeah, so am I. Let's get out of here.
Hey, who's there? Me, Richard. Hi, Richard. How's the playground? Fine. I hit a home run. That's terrific. Who you got down there with you?
I brought Bryce home for something to eat.
Remember, don't touch the chocolate cake. That's for dinner.
I don't think you ought to. Why not? We've been waiting all afternoon. We're starving. Oh, she said not to. Well, she'll never know. We'll just cut a little bit and she'll never notice. Look, there's already some cut. I'll just cut a little piece. Oh. Here, we'll both do it. Here. Don't you want a piece? Here, come on. Let's have another piece. I don't know about that. Come on, we better get this place cleaned up when Mom comes down. Hey, look who's open. Let's give it to him. Hey, Pete, are you going to tell your parents about those guys who beat us up and took your money? I don't know, are you? Of course. My parents help me out with all the troubles I have.
Well, that's not the way at my house.
Why not?
Well, my big brother'd laugh at me, and my mom's always too busy.
Oh, it's not my house. They always help me with everything. Come on. Okay, go on. Hey, why don't you walk home with Nick and me tomorrow in case those bullies start to bother us again?
Yeah, walk.
I know you're just as scared as I am, even though you don't say it. How come you don't say what you feel and think?
I don't know. Does it matter?
Everybody's feelings are their own and they're real as they live their life on every day. Everybody's showing the way that they feel and they do it in their very own way. How do you show the way that you feel? How do you show the way that you feel? How do you show the way that you feel?
This Inside Out program was produced by WNVT, Northern Virginia Educational Television. For National Instructional Television, in association with a consortium of 35 educational agencies.
Sorry. Finished my tuna salad sandwich. I'm sorry. Oh, here's something. For those of you that participated in the toe tapping tournament, here's the victory prize, which is videotape that I got off of cable access, thanks to a friend of mine, Kerry Shaw. It's called The Club. It's just a guy with a camcorder. You never see his face. You don't see anybody's face. And he's had this epiphany about this big stick that he found near a lake. And he feels like it's not only a primitive weapon, but it's also a message from God. So, fascinating series. I only have probably 3 episodes, but there were supposedly maybe 10 or 13. So, there you go. Puppets? You guys wanted to see puppets? Marionettes? Really? All right, here we go.
This town where I live. And just the other day, as I was going along minding my business, which is your business too, you know, I saw that Mr. and Mrs. Public were out working in their yard.
Is that you whistling John Q?
No, I thought it was you.
Hi, folks, it's me, Red Feather. Remember me?
Well, hello there.
Is it Red Feather time again?
You bet. But it's always Red Feather time in our town, whether I'm here to remind you or not. Because Red Feather services work all year round.
Maybe so, Red Feather, but you always want too much money.
But I really don't get enough for all the advantages I bring you. Where else can you do so much for your neighbors all at one time? Isn't it important to you for your neighbors to have help in times of trouble?
Oh, yes. It isn't that.
And isn't it important that you live in a town where young people have a better chance to grow up into good citizens?
Certainly, but still...
And how about your own health? Isn't it important to help other families keep healthy and strong for your sake as well as theirs?
We agree.
But what can a small feather like you do about it?
Me, small? Why, Mrs. Public, I'm the biggest little fellow in town, and I can do anything you want me to.
Name one.
Well, because I'm a symbol of real service, I can help protect you from unworthy beggars.
I think we can be the judge of that.
Well, then, I can help you balance the needs of this town with enough services to take care of them.
Oh, I think we could do that.
Could you? Do you have the necessary skill and knowledge?
Well, anyway, what else can you do?
I can save you months of time and stacks of energy and thousands of dollars for fundraising.
All right, then. Prove it.
Yes, prove it, because I wish we could go back to the good old days when we gave as we pleased.
Well, that's easy to do. I'll show you some red feather magic and grant that wish. You see, I only exist because you wished for me in the first place. So, now, Mr. Public, take your shears and cut me up.
I really believe he means it.
And now, Mrs. Public, you can sweep me away.
Look, all the pieces are up in the air. I wonder where they'll come down.
Well, my dear, you certainly got your wish.
A wandering beggar, I'm cold and quite mistreated. My story's been repeated 1,000 times or more. La 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 la. Ah, what have we here? Ah, madame, sir, such kind faces, such sympathy for the poor and afflicted. You see before you one who has suffered dreadful torments. I'm cold and very hungry.
You poor man.
Well, you look reasonably well fed.
Oh, that. It's, glands, you know. That's it, glands. Ah, me. I am so very miserable. I suffer such awful pain, day and night. Oh! You see, I can hardly walk.
Well, my dear, here is your opportunity to help the afflicted directly.
Yes, let's give the poor man some money.
Here, take this, my good fellow, and get yourself a doctor's care.
Ah, thank you, thank you. I know just the doctor, too. Ah, happy beggar I'll go and get me treated. La da la da da da.
Pardon me, good people. Am I intruding?
Oh, sorry. We didn't see you coming.
It's Tag Day, you know. Tag Day. Glorious occasion to do something for your fellow man. Join hands and around we go. Tag Day, put it in the bag day. Every penny you can spare does some good here and there. Tag Day, oh, put it in the bag day. I just love Tag Day.
Well, I don't. They're a nuisance, and I'm all out of breath.
Well, I hope you're not all out of money. It is Tag Day, you know. Give us some money, dear.
Here you are. By the way, what is the money for?
For? You mean the money? Oh, my goodness. Do you know I quite forgot to ask what the money is for? Now, let me see. It might have been... No, that wasn't it. I guess it's... No, it couldn't be that. That was last week. Oh, well, thanks anyway, dear people. You know I wouldn't have a thing to do with it if it weren't a good cause, huh? Bye. Tag Day, Tag Day.
Hello there. Are you Mr. and Mrs. Public?
Why, yes. Who are you?
I represent a committee of citizens who are protesting against your wish. Look what you've done. You cut up Red Feather, and now all the pieces have come back, one by one. Look at that. I came to ask you to help get Red Feather back again, so that people like this little fellow won't get lost in the shuffle. Speak up, little man.
I'm afraid that without Red Feather, some real needs will be neglected. There are so many people who need special help. Red Feather knew who they are and where they are and how to help them through all his Red Feather services. We should never have destroyed Red Feather. That was very silly of you to sweep him away, my dear.
Don't you, my dear me. It was you who cut him up into little pieces. I do wish we could return to the good old days when Red Feather looked after things for us and life was calm and peaceful.
Uh-oh. What was that?
Why, it's a part of Red Feather.
He's coming back to us, piece by piece.
That's right. You made another wish. Now, for goodness sake, this time let's treat him right. Stand back. Give him air. It isn't the air he needs. It's your real interest, your support, and your work.
All right, then. Come on. Give me a hand. Let's all work to put Red Feather back together again. Oh, Red Feather, we need you. Now I wish you would wake up. It's Red Feather time.
So it is. And since you do believe in me, I'll work harder than ever to make this a better town to live in. Red Feather at your service. To help make children happier. To help make old people more comfortable. To help families overcome their problems. To help the sick get well. Through all the Red Feather services, all year round. And if you believe in working together for the common good, give generously to your Red Feather campaign. Enough for all its services, too.
So there was Red Feather, Blue Feather, then there was assorted community chests, as referred to in Monopoly. So when you read about a community chest, that's what that is. Oh boy, I can see myself over here. I can't do that. Sorry. Thank you, Juliet, for the coffee. One way you can reward AV Geeks for torturing you with marionettes is by buying us coffee at buymeacoffee.com/avgeeks. It was fascinating. So Red Feather and a lot of these community chests, Blue Feather, all became ultimately United Way. So it still kind of exists. And, you know, they're actively raising money and then they're divvying it up to different organizations like Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, community things, food banks, etc. That's how they all work. So, but you know what I want to know, and I should say that, so Red Feather Magic, and what else did I show? Oh, these next two films came from the Nelsons, Paul and Elizabeth Nelson, who are based in Houston, Texas, and who are film collectors and good friends. And I've been scanning their films, and so they just sent us some really great stuff, and I was like, ooh, I want to share these things. So this next one is How Russians Play. Enjoy.
Dear Michael, what a surprise it was yesterday when the postman brought your letter. And it's so full of questions. Suppose I begin by telling you about last Sunday when my brother Peter and I visited Moscow. Moscow's historic buildings like the Kremlin and Lenin's tomb made us think of the long history of our peoples. But what we did in the afternoon had nothing at all to do with history. The Park of Culture and Rest was a busy place that day. All sorts of people were there, milling about, watching, or walking leisurely on the broad avenues or along the paths under the trees. The big Ferris wheel was moving almost all the time. Right nearby, the flying man carried people high into the air and down again. First, you climbed on. Then, they strapped you in very securely. And then, they started you off. You soared slowly up, then faster, and you almost touched the ground at the other end. You felt dizzy, and your hair flew. The man in the middle kept you going. I not only watched the fun, I tried it too. I still remember the strange feeling. There was another flying ride, a swing, that sailed right across the pond. For fencing on the wooden horses, you had to be pretty quick as you tried to hit the lever on your rival's horse. When you did, he slid down backwards. All afternoon, we wandered, played, and watched. Volleyball is very popular, borrowed from the USA. There were mostly boys around the boxing ring. Then we heard music. Just one accordion player. But what a crowd he gathered. In my country, it seems people can't help dancing whenever they hear music. You always find boys and girls at the tall parachute tower. I sailed down many times under the big white umbrella. The first theater I ever visited was a big modern building where I saw a performance by an experimental group connected with the Leningrad Ballet. First, we went backstage and watched the actors and actresses making up. And putting on false eyeglasses. And helping each other fix their wigs. Then we watched them on the stage. They were so wonderfully silly as they danced a comic ballet. In the motion picture theaters of a big city, there are always films to be seen. But it isn't so often that you can watch a film being made. My friends in Kiev sometimes visit the huge motion picture studio built by the Ukrainian government. They told me about a comedy they had seen being recorded in the Ukrainian language. Why didn't I write of this before? The great stadium in Moscow, where our big games are played. Like the Moscow Turkey game. You can be sure there will always be a crowd of people pouring through the entrance, pushing its way to the seats, and making a great deal of noise. The teams line up on the field, and the crowd waits. Then the excitement begins. No true sports lover would miss a championship game if he could help it. Gorotki is another of our favorite games. Each formation has a name. The airplane, the star, the house with chimney. Once in a place called Nalchik in the Caucasus Mountains, I saw a championship match of Gorotki. Measuring distances was a very serious matter, involving much argument. Gorotki isn't as easy as you might think. You're very good if you can score a hit almost every time. In winter, it's very cold where many of us live. So when summer comes, if we can, we go to the beaches and take advantage of the sunshine and warm sand. Often you can buy good things to eat, like Eskimo pie. You'll always find people relaxing in the sun and children digging in the sand. If you prefer more active sport, there are boats to be paddled, sometimes on lakes reserved for boys and girls. In the south is the Black Sea and the Crimean Peninsula, a favorite playground of my countrymen. Citizens come from very far places every year to vacation in the Crimea. That makes me realize how big my country really is, with every kind of climate, with frozen land and nearly tropical seacoasts. Many nationalities gather here and learn to know each other better. Further east are the highest mountains in Europe, the Caucasus. Another wonderful place to spend a vacation in the summertime. In school, we read about the great Rocky Mountains of America, and I imagine they must be somewhat like the Caucasus. From camps up in the mountains, friends of mine have gone on hiking trips with knapsacks on their backs and long sticks in their hands to help them up the steep path. Up and up they climbed in the cool air, through trees and mountain flowers, higher and higher in the great mountains. There's one place especially I've always wanted to see. It is the ancient and remote section of the high Caucasus called Dagestan, which means land of the mountains, where almost each mountain valley has its own national group, language and custom. I've heard of their festivals, with their famous knife exhibitions, their woolly hats, and ancient buildings, their drums. and dances all centuries old. Please write to me soon again, Michael, and tell me about yourself and the things you do. I'll be looking forward to your letter. Your friend, Nathalie.
What's the matter, Gertie? Your denture's slipping up.
When you wear dentures, there's nothing funny about loose spots.
Let Fixodent help fix your loose spots. Fixodent spreads evenly, filling those tiny gaps between dentures and gums with ingredients that give added dimension to holding.
Bertha's back.
She's no problem now. Neither are my loose spots. Oh.
Today's Fixodent helps fix loose spots.
Millions of women have the problem. What can help? Haven't you heard? For feminine itching and irritation, there's new Massengill medicated disposable douche. Hey, that's great news. It's the first disposable with this effective medicine for temporary relief of minor feminine itching and irritation. Sanitary, too, because it's disposable. And Massengill's a name you can trust. For temporary relief of minor feminine itching and irritation, new Massengill medicated disposable douche. It works.
When you go for a fling on the flume, is he sitting far downstream?
Get close, get closer.
When you book a cozy little table for two, do you find something has come between you?
Get close, get closer.
Only Certs has flavor crystals and Retsin for great taste and fresh breath that lasts over an hour. When you want a smooch, does she call the pooch?
Get close, get closer.
The owner of a new Jacobson RMX riding mower is very smart. Its unique design means he can catch clippings right in a trash can, which others wish they could do. He can maneuver easily and trim closely, but once people see his Jake, they want to borrow it. So a Jacobson owner has to be more than smart.
Okay, where's the...
He has to be very clever.
I had to counterbalance all that communism, all that fun in communism from that Julian Bryan film with some grotesque capitalism from the early 80s for products that you probably don't need because you stink or your dentures are sliding or there's all these problems that you have. Excuse me. So just a quick note that Julian Bryan was the guy who did a lot of really amazing documentation of the Soviet Union. He traveled to other countries as well, but the Soviet Union was something that he had gotten the trust of the Soviet government and was able to go in there and film and edit, I mean, with their approval, and show the United States, show like that it wasn't snowing all the time in the Soviet Union and that they did things for fun. And so he did several films. he was so successful that some people, some representatives were like, this guy is a commie, and questioned his motives and questioned the funding of what he was doing. And, because that's the nature of it. It's like, how dare you portray our enemy as humans? But, that's the way we were, and we're still paying for those sins of the rabidness against the Soviet Union. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today, and thanks for bearing with the really annoying audio thing, which obviously I have not fixed. I figured a workaround, but really something has broken on this Mac, and it's annoying. It's plumb annoying. But we'll be back again tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and looking forward to seeing you. And thanks again for buying us coffee. You can also go to avgeeks.com and see other shows that we've done, and also buy DVDs of things. And you can also tell the world that you like AV Geeks by hitting the like button or the thumbs up or whatever it is your social media is deeming for you as to say that you approve of what you're watching. You can also subscribe, hit the ring the notification bell. You can comment always and share. Share with your friends. Tell everybody what you're thinking. I collect these films and really collected them in order to show them. So I'm happy that you're there. Obviously, I'm scattered, man. Happy that you're there to lend your eyeballs and your brains to this. And we'll just keep doing it. I'm back at the archive and doing a lot of work on other things, but this is so important to me. And your time is so important to me. So thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we look to the film can to kind of tell us what's inside the film cam, to give us advice, and it tells us to please rewind and to love each other and to smiley face with eyelashes. So everybody take care, and we will see you again tomorrow. All right, take care.